Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Before I get started, this video is late because I actually already recorded for this video and then I accidentally deleted it, so here we are again. And it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I recorded the video unscripted and my thoughts were like all over the place when I usually write a script for my comeback reviews because after I listen to the songs and stuff, I usually, write my thoughts down. So I actually took the time to do that last night when I was going to edit the video and realized I did not have the audio. So I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video that I am here to talk about ITZY's comeback with Born to Be. And first things first, before I actually get to talking about the comeback, I just want to talk a bit about Leah. I know that it's annoying hearing people constantly talk about her. I know that us as Mitzies are tired of what people are saying and probably don't want, constant reminders that she is not a part of the comeback and that she is on a hiatus, but there are some things that I just wanted to say because I've seen a lot of unsavory things about her online. Unsavory meaning, straight up hate and harassment. So, I just wanted to give my thoughts. And of course, that is not the point of this video, and I don't want to harp on it too much. It's just that there are things that I feel like need to be said. First and foremost, I believe that Leah would have killed this comeback, and of course, ITZY are doing amazing as 4, and honestly, I think us as midseas probably feel off about this comeback purely because, we are attached to Leah and we are attached to ITZY as 5 members, but I don't think we need to act like the group is doing badly as 4, but we don't need to act like they are better as 4 either. These girls are all-rounders and they are able to fill in the gaps, and of course I'm not saying that Leah's vocals aren't better than the other members. I'm just saying that, I feel like from an objective standpoint, this comeback is really good despite the fact that they are missing an integral member of the group. Like, personally, I, of course, miss hearing Leah's vocals because her vocals are beautiful. But I don't feel like, the vocals are bad or anything. I actually feel like the vocals in this comeback are really good despite the fact that she's not there. And honestly, I think objectively, ITZY are not better or worse without Leah. And I'm just so annoyed at people, saying things, saying that, like, oh, they're better as a 4-member group. Oh, Leah should leave the group. If you are out here saying these things and you call yourself a midsie, either change your mind or stop calling yourself a midsie, because you're not a midsie if you don't like OT5 ITZY. If you're out here saying ITZY are better without Leah, you're straight up trying to erase a member who is still part of this group. Now, I understand that there are other groups that have had situations where maybe a member went on hiatus and then the member ended up leaving for some reason or another. I understand that that has happened, and I also understand that typically when a member leaves a group, they are essentially erased from the group and from the group's history, and I have things to say about that. I have things I think about that. I don't particularly agree with erasing a member of a group, and I say that as someone who stands 2 groups that have lost a member each. However, I am not here to talk about that. I am not here to police what people do and say, but I'm just saying, I understand that that's an occurrence that happens, and Leah is still in this group. She has not left the group, and it is confirmed that she will come back. We don't know when. It could be within a few months. It could be this year. It could be next year. We don't know. So please, stop trying to erase her from the group. Stop putting her down. Stop criticizing her when she's not even here. She's not in this comeback, so don't go saying, oh, she wouldn't be able to keep up. How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't. So shut it. I can go on and on about this, and I probably should just stop because this video is on ITZY's comeback. I don't want to bring negativity. I just want to say I personally think Leah would have been amazing in this comeback, and it's just so wrong for you to be treating her with such disrespect when she's on hiatus due to mental health issues. And even if that weren't the reason, even if she was on hiatus for a different reason, stop it. She is a human being, just like the rest of ITZY, just like the rest of us. She deserves as much human respect as anyone else, and just because she is not as skilled in dance as the other members doesn't mean she's a bad dancer, you know? So please, stop. Before going on to actually talk about the comeback, I just want to say, out of curiosity, I kind of wonder if the songs will be re-recorded as OT5 songs or if they will remain OT4. I just want to say, because I've heard people online talk about this stuff with other groups in the past, I just want to say the thing with JYPE is each group is under a different division. So just because one group does something doesn't mean another group will get to do the same thing. They're under different divisions, which means they have different management teams. So I know, like, we could say, like, for example, that Stray Kids re-recorded most of their old songs to be OT8 instead of OT9, but also, you know, they're under Division 1, ITZY's under Division 2, so different management teams. And then also, there's a difference between re-recording a song because a member left versus re-recording a song to include a member that was not included in the comeback. And my take on it is, because the fact that Leah is still in this group and she's supposed to come back at some point, I feel like it would just, you know, make sense to re-record the songs because she's part of the group. Eventually she'll perform these songs with the group. You know, I just think it's something should be done, but, you know, I'm not part of Division 2, so, you know. And we all know that Division 2 has bad management, so I just hope they'll be smart about this. I feel like Leah didn't deserve there to be a comeback without her, but at the same time, I understand that ITZY are in a situation where it probably would have been too risky to postpone this comeback, especially since, like I said earlier, we don't know when Leah's returning, so we don't know if, like, we don't even know how many comebacks she's gonna miss. Like, she might miss multiple, so we can't say anything. Like, it was probably for the best. Now, I will finally actually talk about the comeback. So, first of all, I just want to say that I started standing ITZY during their Crazy in Love era, and I know that was one of, like, not the most controversial one, but I feel like at the time it was a big deal because there were older midzies saying, like, they miss old ITZY, this isn't the same, blah blah blah, this isn't part of their concept. And then they kept telling us newer midzies that we just don't get it because we weren't around for old ITZY, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So I was here for Sneakers and for Cheshire and Cake, and then now for Untouchable. So I have witnessed 4 comebacks, 4 Korean comebacks, as well as their Japanese comebacks, and actually their Japanese debut. So I'm not like an old Mitzi who was like around for like Wannabe and Icy whatnot, but still I've been around for like 2 years now. And personally, I think this is literally the best comeback I have witnessed from them, and of course it makes me sad that Leah's not here because, you know, she's not here for the best comeback, but we could be getting bigger and better things in the future. We don't know. We will get there. But just this comeback overall is really good, and, you know, it makes me feel happy as a midsy because I feel like we finally got a comeback that not to say that other comebacks were bad, but we finally got a comeback that I feel like doesn't feel like controversial, doesn't feel like something that's going to get people talking too much. And of course, I could just be on the wrong side of the internet right now. There's a lot going on within the K-pop community at all times. But I actually haven't heard people say much on this comeback, so I don't know if this was just something that shut up the haters or what. But I just, I find it interesting. Like, where's the noise? But, you know, Midseas have been asking for basically what we just got. We finally got a Korean title track that kind of has the same vibe as the Japanese ones, especially Voltage and Ringo. So I just really like that we got this from them. It was like, I guess it's like Girl Crush. I really like these concepts for ITZY. Like, it gives me the same vibe as like Mafia in the Morning. So I was really happy overall with the concept and everything. And I'm going to start off by talking about Untouchable, since I already mentioned it's a title track like the Japanese ones. And I really like the message of Untouchable. It kind of gave me the same vibe as Bet On Me, the album, the whole theme of like, like them basically like saying like, with Bet On Me, they're like saying like, I trust myself and I'm going to listen to myself and not others. And then Untouchable, it kind of gave the same vibe as like the scenes of ITZY in the Cake music video where they're getting shot at, but like it was like they're bulletproof. Like, Untouchable is them basically like saying like, we're bulletproof, we're untouchable, like you can't harm us kind of thing. And I think it's a good message for ITZY, especially with everything that's been going on, them constantly being hated on for like everything they do. Untouchable is pretty solid, and I love it. Like, I'm addicted to this title track. Of the comebacks I've witnessed, this is definitely my favorite Korean title track. It's just so good. And I really liked the instrumental, and I liked the part, and I like that that part was repeated throughout the song rather than only happening once, because when I heard it in the like teaser, I thought like that might be something that might happen once, like I don't know if it's part of like a bridge or something, but it happened throughout the song and I like it. It's catchy, and I also like that it is being used as a TikTok challenge because that is fun. And now I'm going to talk about other songs from this album. I was impressed by Born to Be, the song. I really like the instrumental of that one as well, and I will say, when it came out, I was worried about the comparisons with aespa, and I'm going to say I stan aespa as well. I'm a Mitzi and a Mai. So aespa is the first group I stand, and I stand them like roughly 2 years ago. It was the fall of 2021, and I stand ITZY not very long after that, whenever Crazy in Love era was, like around then. The entire time of standing these groups, I have witnessed fan wars constantly, and I know the fan wars had been a thing since aespa debuted, so it went on even longer than I've been a fan of both of them. So when seeing that ITZY would be promoting as a 4-member group, I was nervous because of those comparisons. And then when I heard Born to Be, I was like, yep, this is going to be inevitable. Because yeah, I will say that as someone who stands both groups, that the instrumental of Born to Be did give aespa vibes. And now I just want to clarify, because there's fan wars and people think some things and say some things, Me saying that one group has a song that has the vibe of another group song is not me saying anyone copied. It's not meant as a form of hate. In fact, I am saying it as a compliment. aespa does not own any musical genres. and another group having a song that sounds similar to their songs doesn't mean they're copying. Just want to make that clear. So yeah, I thought Born to Be the song had like an aespa vibe to the instrumental. However, I will say, of course, the vocals were very ITZY. I feel like there's no mistaking that this is an ITZY song. And I just want to clarify that because I feel like there will be some people who would be like, no, this literally sounds like an aespa song. Like, I would have never thought it was ITZY, but like, I think it's ITZY. Like, it sounds ITZY to me. And I actually like that they're experimenting. You know, it's cool to hear a different genre for them, and I really love it. I was also impressed by the choreo, and, you know, first of all, I wish we would have gotten, like, a choreo like that choreo for Untouchable, and I just want to say that I've come to notice that there's this trend right now of groups having songs that have tons of backup dancers in, you know, as part of the choreo, and I haven't been a K-pop stan long enough to confirm if this is like a newer trend or if this is something that has been happening and maybe it's just now it's like resurfacing as a trend, but it's just I've come to notice a lot in a short amount of time that there are choreographies like this, and I love it. Like, I'm enjoying this. It's not a point of criticism. I'm just saying that it was just an observation I made, and I think it's unfortunate that Untouchable didn't have a choreography like that as well, because I feel like that's just a really powerful kind of look for a title track. And then now I'm just going to move on to B-sides. This video is long enough, so I'm not going to talk about every B-side, but I will say overall, I really liked all the B-sides. I'm being honest, I don't listen to ITZY B-sides that often. Their songs are all good. That's not me saying that their B-sides aren't good. It's just that I feel like their B-sides never really stood out to me the same way, say, Stray Kids B-sides did or aespa's B-sides did.
Hey, just a little clarification I wanted to make now that I'm editing the video because that statement came off kind of like hate in a way, and also just me comparing ITZY to other groups for no reason. What I meant by my statement I had just made was that I have my regular rotation of songs that I listen to for different groups, and for me personally, ITZY's title tracks are what stands out. So I'll like regularly listen to their title tracks, but their B-sides not as much, except for a select few that I really love. And the B-sides on this album really stand out to me, and I think will make it to my regular song rotation, just like B-sides from other groups have. So it's just what I meant was with my other faves, I feel like I tend to listen to their B-sides a lot. Actually, probably way more than I listen to their title tracks versus ITZY's the opposite. I mostly listen to their title tracks.
This comeback, I feel like these B-sides really stood out to me. Maybe it's just because one, different genres, and then two, which I'm about to talk about now, solos. So I actually was really excited for these solos, and you know, like I said, I don't want to talk about Leah too much, but I just want to say, because unfortunately you don't often hear about the process of working on a comeback, so I don't know how it is for every individual group, so I'm going to use Stray Kids as an example because since they make their music, they actually, you know, talk about that whole process, and hearing about like every detail they talk about, I could say that it seems like generally K-pop comebacks take time to work on, so I'm not sure how often you can just like pull like a rabbit out of a hat and just, you know, put something together last minute. Not saying that it's impossible. Groups have definitely done it, especially Stray Kids with Clay Live Enter, which if you know, you know. So, like, you know, groups can pull things together, but still, that example I gave, like, it's not like they necessarily came up with the idea for the comeback last minute. It's more so that they had to make lots of last minute changes and stuff. But like, my point is, comebacks take time. So I just found it interesting that the comeback that Leah's not a part of is the one with solo songs. I don't know if that was purposeful or a coincidence, but it worked out. And the thing I actually want to talk about with the solo songs, though, is not only about that, but first of all those solo songs were really good. I would say my favorites are Ryujin's and probably Yuna's. At first it was Ryujin's and Chaeryeong's solos that stood out to me when we just had the little teaser, like the little music video part that, you know, is the shortened versions of the songs, but then when we got to hear the full thing, Yuna's really grew on me, so I'd say my favorites are Ryujin's and Yuna's. And I like that they actually worked on these songs, like they actually have writing credits on them, and I hope this will give them more opportunities. I have noticed that some of the biggest groups right now have some sort of involvement in the creation of their music, whether it is songwriting, producing, or both. And I hope ITZY will get more opportunities to contribute to the song creation process. It's something that I feel like Midsies have wanted, and like I would love to see what they can create, you know? I think the good thing about a group or an individual who contributes to the creation of their music is, one, it feels more authentic, but two, you kind of get to know, like, you know, just get to know that person more, like what music they like, how they want to express themselves, and I hope ITZY will get to do that more. Overall, I really liked this comeback, and I actually like how some members got to really stand out. Ignore the background noise right now. I feel like a lot of times with ITZY, Yeji and Ryujin stand out a lot. Like, Ryujin's the center, but I think Yeji is also used a lot as a center. Like, I saw online once someone talked about Yeji always starting off the songs, so I actually liked that with this comeback. Everyone standed out. Of course, solo songs, but also within the songs. And I will say, as someone who biases Chaeryeong, I love how much she stood out. Like, the thing is, like, all the members stand out in some way this comeback, but I feel like this is a Chaeryeong era for sure, and the last Chaeryeong era we had was Sneakers, and it's just nice that she got this as well. I am someone who doesn't hate Sneakers, but it's definitely not my favorite from ITZY, so, like, I can tell, like, it seems like she enjoys Sneakers, and I love that she stands out. She has her cute part. But, like, I love this for her. She stood out a lot, like, not just Untouchable, but also just overall with the choreo in Born to Be, her vocals in both Mr. Vampire and Untouchable, especially the high notes. She really stood out. And then also, I just want to mention, I really liked Ryujin's vocals in Mr. Vampire. Don't you know you have a superpower? I feel like not many people are talking about it because people are talking about her rap but not her vocals. First of all, I love Ryujin's soft vocals. I wish we got more of them. And second of all, I'm just curious. Can I mention Leah again? Just curious. If Division 2 and the writers and producers of this song, of the music, are being smart, I would assume that they would have planned out, like, what parts are for Leah, because first of all, like I said, I would assume that maybe we'll get OT5 versions, even if it's not like recorded studio versions of the songs in OT5. They're going to end up probably performing the songs as OT5 eventually. So I would assume they would have planned out what parts are for Leah. So some of those vocal parts probably were for Leah. Second of all, we don't know when Leah is returning, as I said earlier, so let's say she returns at some point within 2024. One, she would be in the tour with the rest of the group, even though they said she's not going to tour with them, because, we don't know when she's coming back. Two, if she comes back during the year, she'd have to perform with the group for, like, end-of-year things. So, award shows, the festivals and stuff, so, just kind of just food for thought. I feel like you could probably identify what parts of the songs would have been for Leah. Oh, and third of all, as I said earlier, comebacks I feel like tend to take some time to work on, so unless if somehow, some way, all these songs were made within the past few months, the songs were probably originally made with the intention of them being OT5 songs anyways, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, I have not watched much content for this comeback yet, so forgive me if ITZY have already talked about this on, a show or something, but, so, like, I don't know about this, if they have talked about this, but if they haven't, who knows, they might have already recorded these songs with Leah and then had to go back and re-record them, like, it was just an observation I made, really, that that other members having more vocal parts might literally be because they are covering Leah's part, is all. And overall, I really liked this comeback. I think this was a very strong comeback for ITZY, and, I'm just excited to see what's gonna come next from them, because this is just the beginning of the year, and, we have the whole rest of the year to see what happens, and I hope they're gaining momentum and won't lose it, because this comeback I feel like was really good for them, and I like that they don't always do the same concept. I stan other groups that are the same way, that they mix things up and surprise us, but the thing is, I feel like the concept of Born to Be is a really good one that they can play around with more. And yeah, that's about it. I just really like the comeback, and I'm looking forward to what they'll bring for us next, and that's everything. Yeah.